Hello, we're back. Let's go. Elden Ring returns. And we return to... Oh. Gotta turn the camera back on. We return the camera back on. There we go. And 33 bosses down in our Battle Axe, all base game bosses run. Welcome back to day 2 of this one. We're going to be exploring Liurnia today. I need to get my boss checklist up as well so I can remember who or what is here, but I remember what I did at the end of the last stream, which was to drop myself off outside of the Divine Tower of Limgrave to make sure that we got Godric's Great Rune activated. So let's do that. Checklist. The Elden Ring checklist I'm using is a really, really useful resource. I'll link that in the chat for anybody who is curious about what I'm using here. It's very, very handy, and obviously is going to save based on local activity, not based on my activity, so this won't show you what I've done so far, but we've done all of the bosses in Limgrave and the Crystallian from Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnel, so we could buy some smithing stones. The Battle Axe is currently at plus 11. We just need a few more to get it to plus 12, plus 13. But we're going to go and get this Great Rune. We're currently still working with Barbaric, Raw, two-handing the axe with the Highland axe in the belt. And we'll see how this goes. I made a couple of other notes about potential upgrades we could make later. Did not get enough stamina back for that. There we go. I've also been continuing my Dark Souls 2 playthrough yesterday, and once again, I have come to the conclusion that old school Dark Souls bosses are not nearly as difficult as Elden Ring bosses are. Because I fought the Dragon Rider yesterday and beat him first try, but it took me so many attempts to get there, so it seems to be a formula of the old Dark Souls games that the bosses are very straightforward, but the areas that you have to navigate to get to them are more difficult. Two hits for that one. 2 charged heavies takes down the golem so far. Pretty good. Yes, Carian, I did get a haircut. I went to the barber's yesterday, and then it snowed, and I could not leave. So I remained there, got my haircut, and then ended up having to walk home. Trapped at the barber's forever. Yeah, no, I almost was. I could walk out, but I couldn't drive out. So, yeah, the snow got bad enough that you could not get up the hills in that little area. So, yeah, ended up walking home. Yes, we form a barbershop quartet. Me, the barber, and the 2 other guys who are in there. But yeah, I rescued the car this morning, so that is at least done. And if it continues to snow, then at least I won't have to go anywhere. We'll grab this, just in case. I don't expect we'll want to do this, but you can farm feathers for fletched arrows really easily on this half of the bridge. So this is my farming spot for birds if I ever come back here. Surprisingly, it didn't snow last night here. I was dead certain it would. Yeah, my folks up north have had a lot of snow. And honestly, it doesn't really happen in Brighton all that much, so I'm surprised it did. But it did. I think one of the things we're going to get nice and quickly here is the Cleanrot Knight in the Poison Cave over here. Oh my god, I didn't use the Great Rune before I used the Rune Arc. That's embarrassing. First time I've ever done that. All it did was heal me. Great Runes. Let's do that again. Alright, better. Don't like snow. I think snow is lovely when you can just sit there and enjoy looking at it. When you have to go anywhere in it, it sucks. So I have sympathies for anybody who has to deal with traveling in snowy conditions on the regular. And yeah, walking back in the snow took us about 90 minutes, and it was a bit of a trek. But it was still, like, a fun experience overall. Not expecting the bosses or the enemies really in here to cause me much trouble. Aside from the occasional bit of poison, which is only natural for an area that is themed around poison and has a poisonous lake in it and stuff. But in terms of damage output, we're fine. Did snow 2 days in a row up there, but seems to have stopped. Ah, fair play. I thought the snow was going to last here a lot longer than it did. Once it started, I was like, okay, this is in for the long haul now. But, no, for the most part, it was okay. We need to get in here, run to the land real quick. Probably cross this part of the lake too. Avoid rolling in the poison if possible. Go on. Get over here and make the effort. Get wrecked. So the other thing this gives us is the winged sword insignia, which might be useful if we do barbaric roar and then this heavy, because we're going to do a couple of hits in quick succession with that. But we'll see if that becomes part of the playstyle later, and we need another talisman slot for it, ideally, because we're still going to be doing charged attacks. First boss of the day, +1. Let's see if the counter still works. And it does. Excellent. So that was Cleanrot Knight in whatever cave this is. Lake-facing cliff, Stillwater Cave. There we go. We have another option over here, and it's an option that some people aren't really going to like much. And that is to go and kill Boggart. Because he gives you, or his weapons give you, the Braggart's Roar, Ash of War, which is another roar that we can use. But I think it does the same thing to our heavy attacks that Warcry does, just but for a longer buff and a slightly better damage increase. Atomic Waffle, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Really appreciate it. Thank you. We also had the Tim Reaper and My Wife's Hero with the Prime subs earlier. Thank you both. Sorry if I missed those, and sorry if you are no longer here. Love snow so much. Growing up, we used to get so much. I loved when we got days off for school because it meant too much snow for cars on the road. Yeah.
It's rather my mistress. I was a... Could I ask that thug only if you've... Oh, to bless a thug, please.
Alright, so, having now met Raya, because we're not doing any of Dung Eater's stuff, I'm going to say we head up here to Boggart, we buy the necklace back from him, and then we violently assault him. Because it's a roar and I want it. The alternative is to get this from the Rotten Duelists, I think.
What are you trying to stop? Show me, and I'll consider. I'm not in love with it. You're a shrew. First. All right, things things, no, your bloody idea. Not scared, are you? Damn it! God damn it! Why ain't it me? Why ain't it ever?
Well, first time I've ever killed that guy. His mask actually looks like the mask I'm using in Dark Souls 2 right now. It was also a mirror of his emptiness. Wow, that's dark. That's R1 chain? It's the R2. It's the R2. So, Ashes of War for this one, we can take Braggart's Roar, which declares your presence with a boastful roar, raises attack power, defense, and stamina recovery speed. Instead of Barbaric Roar, which is the one we already have, which changes strong attacks to savage combo attacks. So this one... Okay, yeah, it still gives you the running, like the charge R2, which is, I don't know. Not certain I like it. I do like the fact that you get extra damage, but I think the Barbaric Roar is going to work better against most enemies. I think we'll swap in Braggart's Roar when I feel like we can use it. I'm also going to try and get hold of some other crystal tiers that are going to be really helpful for us. But at least we can go back to Raya now and give her the necklace. We might also get a Deathbird fight here, depending on whether it's actually nighttime or not. I can't tell because it's misty. Yeah, there we go. I always forget to do fights like this on the horse. And the problem is, I can't always execute the full attack. Oh god, I was so close to death there. Gonna get a quick heal again. We're not getting a stagger from any of this because we're not attacking the head. There we go. Well, we'll get a crit finish. Not bad. 35. Yeah, Deathbirds are never my favorite. There's Raya. It's like a giant chicken skeleton. Basically is, yeah. So Raya's going to give us the invitation to Volcano Manor, which requires us to get the Grand Dectus lift. So we're not going to do that yet.
I see you are very to steady such. Please. Most time you are no volcano.
I think she also tells you about the hidden path up to Altus, and then she's waiting for you at Erdtree Gazing Hill, so we can maybe do that. But either way, when you get to the top of Altus Plateau, she is there, and she invites you to Volcano Manor. We're going to be heading to Volcano Manor slightly earlier, but just so we can do the Abductor Virgins fight and then leave again. We're going to avoid getting killed by the lobsters. Said we're going to avoid getting killed by the lobsters. Deathbirds are too silly looking to be scary. It's true. Where should we put this one? Probably into strength at this point, because that's getting us a ton of extra damage. Now we are a higher level on the axe. Like, it doesn't look like it's increasing your damage by too much, but then you start upgrading the weapon and the scaling really kicks off. So that's that done. We've got the roar from that. We can tick Deathbird off the list. Adan Thief of Fire is up here, so we can go there in a bit. We've got Erdtree avatars in both the south and the north. The north one is a little harder, I think. There's a Deathrite bird over here who I'm going to avoid for now because those are worse. Glintstone Dragon Smarag is over here. There's lots of little like catacombs and stuff that we can go to, so I think maybe we'll do those early. Like there's one down here that we can go to now. And there's a couple of like cellars that have bosses in, I think. Stuff like that. So we're at Academy Gate Town now. I think we'll head back up here. If you follow this bridge, it basically takes you up to where we want to go. Dodge the Albinorix. And there are Knights Cavalries and stuff on this road as well, I think. Forget exactly where some of these folks are. But there's a Grace here we can tag. Just in case we need it. Yeah, there's a Knights Cavalry up on the road there. This one I think gives you like an ice Ash of War. Like a cold Ash of War. One of the other things I've been considering for this build is maybe we do one flame and one cold axe, and we dual wield with the one that we can buy from the round table hold, which we've already got, so that should be at least doable. Okay, the horse is looking pretty bad now, so that's good. Oh, caught me in the jump. Nice. Single crit should do it now. 36. Yeah, Ice Spear. Fun one. We'll grab the crystal darts, because those will be useful later. Ow. We'll get the Grace at the top here, and then we'll go do the Catacombs below. Ice Spear is very fun. Yeah, I never used that one. I don't know if it's going to apply to this weapon, though, because I think it requires an attack pattern that this weapon doesn't do. Let's get one more level. We'll put this one into Vigor. And yeah, we want to be going left here and then follow the way this lad is pointing. It's for polearms, yeah. Maybe on our next halberd playthrough we can give it a go. There'll be halberds and spears and stuff that we can attach it onto. I think it's up here, this one. It's one of those weird like switchback situations where you go all the way down there and you get like a golden rune or something, and then you have to double back and then you spot the door on the way back up. Very simple but very, very effective. Worth knowing. Cliffbottom Catacombs. See what we got going on in here. No ambushes right away. Is this the one where you have to go under the elevator? No, clearly not. Okay, good. Let's turn the lights on. His friend saved him from the first ambush, just not the second. Just in case we need more root resin later. Okay, so this one is not secret walls on the sides, which some of them do have. Try ranged battle. With whom? Is this the one where we have to drop down here? Oh, this is the omens. I remember this one. Yeah, this is the one where the omens are down here and one of them's like crying and this one just kind of wanders out of here and gets crit. Gives you a preview of Horaloo's attack patterns. Gonna ignore that guy down there because he hasn't got anything we want. Likewise this. I think this is the Nox Mirror Helm? Or something like that. There's one of those that has a weird helmet in that I don't want. Spare Rune Arc is good though, considering we wasted the last one. Nope. Nope. Still nope. Ignore the pressure plate there. Oh, and we got killed. That was a better ambush than I was expecting, and they bled me twice, despite the fact that I was dead the second time. Oh. The tea is good. The tea is good. Right, well, fool me once, shame on me. What's the tea? Just English breakfast, the usual. Okay, here we go again with the blood loss. We're really just here to farm root resin. Ignore you, because you ain't anything. Get you shot by these arrows. I guess not. Okay, flask number 2. Gotta keep a steady hand for some of this. Take out these guys because I don't want them to sneak up on me and throw stuff. Okay, better. And around the corner here we get nothing, because it's down there. We get whatever this is. I'm not certain I actually want. There's also this guy. This guy. And more golden runes. We both did the same attack and he got the upper hand. But I think this way... we can take him out nice and quickly. I think if we go out here, we can loop back around to this, get this guy shot by the trap. What are those creatures? They look ugly. These are omens. And I think the main point is that they are ugly, yes. Page ashes, huh? Well, we got by that guy. But that doesn't matter. Oh god. That message blocking you from making any other inputs until you've dismissed it with a button prompt it doesn't tell you on the screen is possibly the biggest troll in this entire game. And it's a game with several trolls who are bosses. I can't remember what's the boss in here, so I will probably just backtrack to the Grace. Oh, which is not there. It's the other way. Yamar is looking fed up at this point. So there's a cemetery shade in this area. There is a Black Knife Assassin and an Erdtree Burial Watchdog. Is this Cliffbottom Catacombs? Did we say that's what it was? Because I think this might be the Erdtree Burial Watchdog, but it's a magic staff one instead of a sword one. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, gotta remember that that changes every heavy attack into that series of swings. Except the jumping heavies. Okay, that works. $37. Love that number. We'll rest quickly here. I think I can level. Unless I need 10k at this point. Yeah, I do need 10k. Okay, well we can spend a couple of runes. That should get us over the line. Things like Aztec death whistles on cattle lemur bodies. Interesting. Never heard of those. So from here, we don't need anything else on this side. Purified Ruins doesn't have anything except a Shibriri Grape. We don't need to go here. We can't go here really yet. I'm trying to think where the other boss fights are going to be. There's a lot on this side. Obviously, we have Albinauric Village. We can go and see Vare, but we're not going to be doing Mogun Palace for a while. Yeah, 4 Belfries is going to lead there. There's one boss here, one boss here. There's Vike, who's not really a boss. There's another Knight's Cavalry there as well, but I think that's ready for later. And then there's 2 bosses inside Raya Lucaria. Albinauric Village. I think maybe we'll go and do the Erdtree avatar that's down here. Oh, the other thing I meant to get. In the Mistwood, this tree here actually has a mixed physic tier that helps with charged attacks, I think, which is one I always forget about because I don't really rely heavily on charged attacks for a whole lot of my builds, but this one, it's kind of the whole point, so...
Welcome, dear customer. Yes, right.
Nope. Do not want to trade with you, merchant who only sells animal organs. Where's the Erdtree? You'd think it'd be really obvious, but... in fact, it's here. So the spiked cracked tier is the one we want. And, yeah, then let's go back to Ball Prawn Shack, which is my shack now, because we killed the owner. And that's how property works, right? Capitalism? Anyone? So I think we will actually put this in place of... yeah, there you go. Enhances charged attacks for a time. Considering we have a skill that enhances raw attacks, the raw that we have can be charged. The Axe Talisman can be charged. I think that's the best option, really. Oh, yeah, we've got the Albinauric woman as well. We will need to find her at some stage. We'll get the Grace over here just so we can come back to Vary easily later. And so we avoid all the lobsters around this gazebo. Think that could hold up in court. Now that we've been to see Enya... oh, we haven't been to see Enya. Okay, never mind. Enya will have to wait. We beat Godric, but we didn't go to the Round Table Hold afterwards. And I think this should be a relatively straightforward one as well. Especially since we should have enhanced charged attacks now. That's pretty good. I was really hoping that the last hit there would stagger like that, and then we'd miss out on the whole area of effect thing, but still good fight. so that's that one. We don't need either of those crystal tears for anything. The ruptured one literally explodes and kills you. It's ready for PvP. But if we go around the side here, there's another catacombs down this way. Which should be another relatively easy finish. If I remember correctly how to get down there. Yeah, there's jellyfish. Jellyfish are the sign of a burial site. Weirdly. I don't know what this is, but I want it. Sword dance. Can I do that with an axe? Possibly not. Socially Atypical, thank you so much for the 22 months. Appreciate the resub. Hope you're having a good week. Let's rest here real quick. Don't recall what you do in this catacombs other than get ambushed by imps yet again. Oh, this one has a lever right here. So it's a find the door kind of one, huh? But the door wasn't back here, so... This is one of those ones with illusory walls. Right. I remember. Who's this? Oh, Spiritcaller Snail. I forget this fight exists, because I don't do it very often. Oh, it's right there. Okay, I see it. The Crucible Knight is doing a good job of defending it, actually. It's over here in the corner now. There we go. The snails, they're back, I know. God, there's another snail fight that I remembered we have to do, because I joined somebody else's stream to see them doing it. But there's that one that summons Godskin Duo, and I'm like, oh god, we have to do that. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's 50, 30, 39. Just going to tick those off. Spiritcaller Snail. We've got... Southwest Erdtree Avatar, Erdtree Burial Watchdog, Knight's Cavalry South. We did the Crystalian last time. Cool. There's a Bell-Bearing Hunter fight here as well somewhere. So... From here... We could go and get the other part of the map so I can see slightly better. Magma Makar still counts technically as Liurnia of the Lakes, which is funny because it's the transitional boss between Liurnia and Altus. So I always think of it as an Altus boss, but that's really just because it's on the way. We'll go with Dispatched. Unkillable Snails Dispatched. Here we go. We've got a couple of other Everjails here as well. We have, I mean, we mentioned Adan Thief of Fire. We've also got Bols Carian Knight over here somewhere. Yeah, like right there. Don't think there's anything else much on this side. It's the stuff in Carian Manor. It's like Royal Knight Loretta and Onyx Lord behind there. So what do we go and do next in terms of like progression? I think Bols is going to be a fairly straightforward fight. We can just ride down from 4 Belfries maybe. Or ride up from here. There will also be a couple of bosses that are technically on the Liurnia checklist, but we won't be able to do until we finish Rani's quest, so... not going to worry about Glintstone Dragon Adula for now. Smarag, on the other hand, is definitely going to get it. Helpful Stake of Marika. This one should be one that we can just use the Barbaric Roar skill for. He had a security system, but it was not enough. $40. Pretty good. Omenkiller. I don't really feel like fighting the Bloodhound Knight before we do that. But then there's not too much else around here, I don't think. Like, there's the stuff up here. There's the Black Knife Catacombs up here. We probably need to start talking to Roger at this stage. Let's get a quick level up. Yeah, let's aim for 30 Vigor, at least for this area.
You haven't gone to... Well, just as long as he...
Oh yeah, we don't really talk to him.
Always good. So, deal with that he discovered the centipede. As long as... Then we may be able... If only I could... And if they...
Let's go through here and talk to Enya, because we haven't had our audience with the 2 fingers yet. Because then at least we can start Vare's quest for later. Alright, peace. Roderick is still here waiting to spirit tune.
Would you like me now?
Now I think we've spoken about the curse mark. I think Fia should have more stuff to say. Is there an achievement for dispatching all NPCs as well? No.
Then good day.
Oh, seriously? Okay, never mind. Well, just got a Botlikin's Blessing for nothing. Oh, we have to go and see Godwin's corpse under Stormveil, don't we? That's what we need to do. Away with you. So let's go back to lift side chamber and go from there. Bold blessing. We'll wait for this to fade off. Give me my health back. There we go. Right. So the ulcerated tree spirit down here will be a somewhat worthwhile fight because it gives us an extra golden seed. Just trying not to die to gravity on the way down. Where's Big Rat? There's Big Rat. Scarab here just gives you a spell, so we can ignore that, because we're not going to be using Rancor Call at any point. Might as well chug Flask here, because this fight can be annoying. We get an extra Stone Sword key out of it as well. Oh, this one will be okay. Unless I get stuck in here and can't get out. I hope you're enjoying watching this fight, because I literally can't see it. But fortunately we're done. So now we get hold of this. We look at this one bloodstain, and it shows us Roger getting killed by Deathblight. Which is weird because you can't see the Deathblight, so it just looks like somebody levitating. And now we can talk to Roger about that.
Always good to so. The misshape that is it happened. Someone's and on a that was the and it became. I once wish the world has you'd better and I urge.
So he explains that the Knight of the Black Knives was the assassination of Godwyn the Golden, and a lot of Fia's whole situation is related to that.
Now. You are.
And now we can finally share the Black Knife print map.
Along with these grand, but dear, about the black, but perhaps.
So she gives us the worst drawn map in the entire game, and excuse me, and it leads us to the Catacombs in the north of Liurnia, which we should be able to get to as long as we don't get shot by too many things. Yeah, I think we'll go there now. Black Knife Assassin will be an annoying fight, but it won't be the worst. And there's a Cemetery Shade there as well. She's the Deathbed companion, not the Deathbed cartographer. Actually, I think the Mirage Rise map is worse because it's rotated 90 degrees, and you can't rotate it yourself. So that one I think is worse purely because it's kind of annoying to read it on its side. But then after you've done it a couple of times, you just remember where the mirages were, so it's not too bad. Real question is, are we going to complete all of Liurnia that is feasible for us to do today? Answer is not sure, actually. I think this is the point at which we can't really complete an area. Because then Shifra River, but then technically Moog counts as part of Shifra River, and then we've also got the bits of Ainsel River that we can get to from here, but we can't get to all of that from here. Oh, terrific. I don't quite have the same sound effects playing on this horse, but close enough, I guess. Oh, that's the other thing. There's a Tibia Mariner fight around here somewhere. I think it's like there. We haven't done that one yet. We're going to ignore the Turtle Pope, unfortunately, because we will not need Absolution, and we're not really using spells. The two buffs I plan to get, if we end up using Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Vow, we'll just be able to get from like picking them up in the world instead of buying them from a merchant or anything. Okay, good. Time was I would slog my way through here, attack all of the ancestral followers. Now, don't see the point. Not when we can just sneak on past. And I think actually we need to go this way for Cliffbottom. Yeah, there we go. Be fun to have a Carl horn to summon Torrent. A La Cucaracha horn. Everyone say a brief hello to Lutel the Headless before we sneak on by. Famous Mausoleum Guard Lutel. Problem with being headless is it gives you a pretty poor aim. And you also can't come into a graveyard for some reason. Alright, so this is the one where we ignore half of the skeletons because there are Necromancer NPCs that are summoning them in a fantastic callback to the Catacombs area of Dark Souls 1, which I had not played when I played Elden Ring, so none of this made any sense to me until I did it. We're going to go up here for this fight first, also because it allows us to take out the Necromancers and we don't get troubled by skeletons on our way back through. We deal with the skeletons in here who were not summoned by a Necromancer. And then we get Illusory Wall, and we have this fight, for which we can summon D, Hunter of the Dead, which I'm going to because I would rather not die to this. Black Knife Assassins can be a bit of a pain, and also it's fun to summon D for things. one more person to completely destroy the furniture in this room as well. Easy crits. I don't think I would really have that much trouble with this boss, but considering I've been spending rune arcs and we have minimal additional rune arcs, better not take the risk. Didn't know D could be summoned for any fights. He can be summoned for this, and then when you do Valiant Gargoyles, if you've already done his quest up to the point where things happen between him and Fia, you can actually summon the other D for Valiant Gargoyles, which is very helpful because there are two of them. Gonna drop down here. Somewhere a heavy door opens. But not this heavy door. Accidentally attack all the crabs, except this one, yikes. Zoinks, a crab. By doing a new character for every weapon? Yes. Every weapon except a couple which will have to be New Game Plus runs because there is no point to completing the game with it when we get the weapon at the very end of the game, basically. So, yeah. So, for the most part, it's going to be a series of New Game runs with the occasional New Game Plus sprinkled in here and there. The first one of those, I think, is going to be coming up soon, though, because it's the one of the Beastman weapons, and the only place you can really get it is from Farum Azula, at which point we'll have, like, 3 bosses left to do. So it won't be that impactful unless we do a New Game Plus run with it. This should be a Cemetery Shade, I think. Yeah, there we go. Oh, with the skeletons, I remember. Can never remember if it's worth just focusing fire on this boss, but apparently it's not. Came across the gargoyles in a randomizer run I'm doing. Apparently they can die to gravity. Oh, yeah. I had them as the one randomizer I've done was the Axe of Godfrey run of this. I decided to do a randomizer because it meant we could get the weapon much sooner. And Valiant Gargoyles was the final boss. Like, it was instead of the Elden Beast. Which was incredible. How many deaths is that? I haven't been counting. That was easier. Twin Sage. And another Death Root. Not bad. Gotta make sure we add one. So now we've got that and the Black Knife print. We can go back to Roger, give that to him. He can tell us about Rani. And then Roger can, unfortunately, start to wither away.
I can scarcely recall our... They say the group in the knives... Please, I'd love no... Though own traces of the half my...
We'll level up here and then we'll...
Killing those is a path.
Shush. Shush you. Thank you for your help, but shush. Also, did I don't think I put one on the board for the Black Knife Assassin, did I? We just kind of went to do the other boss fight there. So, that and Cemetery Shade are done. Bols Carian Knight is done. Yeah, that should be 42. Let's get ourselves to 30 Vigor. We're almost at 1,000 HP. I think that's pretty reasonable.
Ah, my examination. Now Luna, demigod, hers was truly. But if Rani, then she should... I would like you to... And then... There's a manner. It is the familiar. There's been taught. Rani's word, I suspect. Do you know of the very note by D's? But truth be, you may find this.
D's accounts.
Yes, if Dean knew, he would surely, or perhaps, but no need to. I can tell a good. If then she should, would you be willing to? She may have written the royal car.
Okay, cool. That should be everything we need from that. I think Roger has to die before we progress Fia's quest, so we will continue from where we are. And yeah, I think after having done that, we might be okay for the Erdtree Avatar fight here. There's a couple of other night bosses. Let's go and do the Tibia Mariner now, because that should be on one of the foresty bits up here, and that doesn't rely on it being nighttime. There's also the Royal Revenant in King's Realm Ruins, which I'm not looking forward to, but we'll have to do it. Horrible boss fights at the best of times. To avoid the wolves tailing me. Crab. The other advantage to doing all of the stuff in Liurnia now is that we don't end up running into Alexander a second time, where he's like, help, get me some soap. These guys are such cowards. Absolutely not. Don't you dare. And we're done. 43. And our, like, 4th piece of death route, I think. So that's that done. We'll mark that one off real quick. Tibia Mariner. Okay. Next on the list. Honestly, I think the Erdtree Avatar over here would not be too bad an idea. Or we could go and do Royal Revenant now. I didn't really get a Grace up here, did I? No. No, because I never went forward and met EG. Oh, never mind. So we'll make inroads towards Carrier Manor. We'll go and see EG. We'll do the Royal Revenant fight. We can probably manage Glintstone Dragon Smarag as well. And then there's the Omenkiller, the other Erdtree Avatar, probably Raya Lucaria, because I think we'll be fine in Raya Lucaria. Okay, there's a summoning pool here for... what exactly? One boss fight and finding this entrance. Raya Lucario, yes. Right. This will get us 1 extra strength, which will hopefully help us dispatch this absolute demon slightly faster. Not you. Not you either. Your spells cannot reach, old man. Ow. Maybe his could. Oh, I hate you. Literally the worst enemy in the game. Thank goodness for that. Sunk into the floor, but still managed to kill it, so. Literally the worst enemy, considering that, like, it glitches everything out when you try and crit it. Yeah, very, very bad. So that's done. Like I said, could go and do Carian Mana now. I feel like a good dragon fight is what we need. Royal Revenant is now done. Just going to tick that off the checklist real fast. And yeah. It's so funny that, like, looking at this list, there are a bunch of bosses that are relatively straightforward fights, and then there is the hardest ever jail in the game, but that's on Moonlight Altar, and we won't get there yet. At least not for a while. Let's go and see Vare first, because he's over here, and we might as well. How goes the all boss run? It's going pretty well so far. We're at 44. We started at 33, so we've done 11 bosses so far. We won't get everything done in Liurnia today because there are simply a couple of locations that are inaccessible to us, but we could go and do some of Shifra River. We could do a tiny bit of Altus or Kalid.
My words are truly, I believe, even that's the. Oh, and give it a try. And if it I've high.
Every now and then you see me jump because I'm mashing A. Here's a fun buff we could get for later, just in case we need one. We want buffs for these things. There we go. Blood Flame Blade might be fun to have on the axe, in case we want to use Bleed and Flame. So let's drop one here. Question is, do I have any Dragon Wound Grease? I don't. I just have Fire Grease. Okay, never mind. I think there is Dragon Wound Grease behind the dragon, so we could quickly apply some of that if we wanted to. And when else do I get to apply Dragon Wound Grease? Let's duck behind here quickly. There you are. Hello. That's what I was missing. I wasn't locked on yet. Mistimed the roll. Not to worry. Shout out to iFrames. Thank you, Torrent. Oh, we went through the wing that time. This one's going to be a breath attack. One for the head. Run through to the legs. And get a crit. Follow up with a couple of charged heavies. And we're done. Good fight. $45. Another dragon becomes just another statistic. Let's throw that one on there. And Omenkiller maybe next. Then we can get the Crystal Cave out of the way as well. Feel like all I do is nibble their ankles. That's why you've got to go swing for the head occasionally. It's risk reward. I think it's some of those fights, especially with the larger creatures, are also much more dramatic feeling if you're a spellcaster or have ranged attacks. But yeah, a lot of these larger creatures, it really feels like you're doing nothing and then suddenly they die because you can't really inflict, like, grievous damage to them. It's just like a big health bar and they behave perfectly normally throughout most of it. Realistically, the more health you carve off, the easier it should get to fight them because the more injured they are. But, you know, that's not really how video game logic works. Camera also doesn't help on the large creatures because you can only see the feet. Yeah, that's the same issue people have with Fire Giant. It's like you can either see your character's animations or you can see the Fire Giant's animations, but not both. Nefeli isn't here. Have we not spoken to her properly? We'll come back if we need to. I think there's like one last line of dialogue that we haven't heard from her yet.
It's about time. I'll see you again.
Yeah, cool. See you at the Albinauric village. Right. Would be nice to see the dragon's moveset change below half HP. Yeah, a lot of boss fights happen that way, especially. But more often than not, the boss just attacks harder. Which doesn't always feel like desperation. It often feels like just like a change in resolve. I'm going the wrong way here. It feels like, well, I have to try now, so I might as well bring out my best attacks. Still have trauma from the bedrock with her, yeah.
The oppression awaking. Put under the justice to let the scars.
Alright, that's it for Nefeli for the moment. Gotta hop off here. Probably spend these runes, just in case. Being bullied by the mods, that is the mod's job. Oh, cool, we got a fun new robe. Oh, it's worse. It's actually not that much worse, because this doesn't have a ton of physical negation. No, that looks terrible. Looks terrible with our current getup, at least. I do have some plans for outfits for Yamar a little bit later on, but...
Please, no. Dear me. I haven't a clue. No secrets lie with me, not a one. Oh, please leave me be. Wait. Well. Oh, aye, we're finished. The curse, I beg you. You must keep... And if you should, then please...
Will do. So we have the right half of the Dectus Medallion, or the Erdtree Medallion, rather. We still don't have the other half of the Dectus Medallion, actually. Won't be getting that until later. And at this point... Ignore that, that's just health flasks. At this point we can summon Nepheli for this fight, so we might as well. While I am committed to this being an all bosses fight, I'm also not limiting myself to like all bosses, no summons, blah blah blah. I think it's sometimes fun to have summons. Especially if they're NPC summons the game gives you. Capra Demon wannabe. The dog is more dangerous than the boss at this stage. Especially with Nepheli on the case. Thanks, Nepheli. There's another free rune arc down here too. This dog didn't even get involved. No secrets lie with me. It gives you secret medallion. Yeah. 46. Did we put one for the dragon as well? Omenkiller. Refuses to elaborate, dies, yeah. Gosh, the attacks. Is Ensha the easiest invasion? I want to say maybe. I feel like none of his attacks are especially damaging. Just using this, like, clinging bone weapon one-handed, and then, like, a gravity spell occasionally. That's basically it. Okay, now we have the keys. I think we go in and do Rey Lucaria. Because Carrier Mana feels like something you do after Rey Lucaria to me. We can also progress Yura's questline here. With the Ravenmount Assassin fight. Yeah, refusing to elaborate and then dying is basically how the Souls game formula works, yeah. Broody skies today. We'll go and get this golden seed. I think at this point we're owed a flask upgrade because we fought a few ulcerated tree spirits and stuff. This might actually be the first playthrough where I get enough golden seeds to max out my flasks. Because I don't think I've done that on any previous playthrough except maybe some of the first ones. Where's the fun in explaining things? I know, right? If people explain things, then who would read the item descriptions? If we went around explaining things all the time. Oh, I don't have my Great Rune for this either. Get wrecked. Yura, he's dead. Calm down. Way faster than the Arbalest playthrough, yes. Reading it 20 hours later into the game, realizing the item actually does something, yeah.
Oh, that bloody thing. Here's a token.
Oh, Smithing Stone 5, thank you.
Yeah, she is the dot in spot. If she comes, there is no ship. Perhaps we...
Okay. We'll see him on Altus Plateau. In the meantime, we have a date with a big fox. Welcome to Wizard School. But they will literally throw the book at you. Crystal Cliffs looks a little different from usual. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. I don't care for it, thank you. Yeah, the Burger King Wizards. They're back. 1600 should do for the next level. Oh, not quite, okay. Another 200. And let's see what we get from another strength, another endurance. I think maybe we start putting it into endurance now. I want to get to the point where I'm left with some stamina after doing the full combo of swings that Barbaric Roar gives us. As usual, we're going to be running through most of this. Ray Lucaria doesn't have a whole lot of stuff that we can feasibly use, considering we're not spellcasting. Except for maybe occasional incantations. Did something shoot me, by the way? The dog is way more of a threat than the other guy. I used to be an adventurer like you, then I took an arrow to the butt. We could also go and do the Abductor Virgins fight now, but I don't want to go to Altus Plateau right this second. Sword, nice. I think out here we get another Smithing Stone 4. I don't think that gets us to... Oh, it does! Amazing. Okay, great. Well, at the next Grace... Actually, no, we'll do it now because the next Grace is after Red Wolf of Radagon. The sign language for Red Wolf of Radagon is apparently just waving your fingers like that. Let's do this. That should hopefully give us enough for 2 upgrades. We can sell them at Hugh if not.
Oh, I didn't. I'll be doing much. Just lay out your up.
Nice. We're plus 13 now. Wonderful. We don't need to upgrade the Highland Axe yet. Church of the Cuckoo. Schoolhouse Classroom is the one we need. And if the previous round didn't kill him in one hit, the second one definitely would. Stealth. We won't need anything in here because we're not after the spellcasting help. So we don't need Comet or the Graven Mass Talisman. Alright. We could have got fancy with that one, but we didn't need to. I genuinely thought the staff sticking out of the ground and the candle was the grace, because I've been looking at bonfires in Dark Souls 2 for a bit. And that's sort of what they look like. What's up, Red Rocks? Welcome in. Doing well. We are coasting our way through some of the bosses in Elden Ring. That was our 47th of the run so far. We'll go and get another golden seed from the courtyard here, and then we'll go and fight Rennala, who should be pretty straightforward. Oh, the other thing we should get from here, actually, if we take a brief detour, just in case we want a cold infusion later. We'll grab this whetstone. And that should give us enough time to dodge the Abductor Virgin, who will not take us to Volcano Manor, even if we ask nicely. And now we should be able to get across to the Super Mario Great Bridge. Whoop. Getting a few free runes, thanks to the fact the Abductor Virgin is just getting real abducty over there. Moongrum! Of course. Here we are again, eh? Always jump attack because you can't parry those. Nope. Ooh, Carian pierced, no less. Get counted. Excuse me, excuse me. Okay, good. The alternative to that fight is just to go up the elevator and watch him fall down the elevator shaft, but it's fun to do the fight. Okay, time for a cutscene. Resisting the urge to heal at this point because I'm a little low on health, but there we go. Get away from my toes. God, are my toes spikes? I think they're actually like glitching through the carpet slightly. They're clipping through the object. And it genuinely looks like my toes are pointed and sharp. That could be something to do with my beast heritage.
Hush, little Calva.
I don't think I ever quite realized she has a crib right there. That's even weirder.
I'll soon birth thee anew, a sweeting, fresh and pure.
Hadn't had time for a mani-pedi in a while, true. My feet have been worn down to stubs from just running around, dealing with this ridiculous place. Okay, this is a nice easy phase 1. We'll Barbaric Roar as she comes down. Okay, this is going to be a 1 cycle then. Nice. I will actually heal here if I can. Which it doesn't look like I can. Oh, I skipped the cutscene. I just did it automatically. Because these attacks can damage you quite a lot. If you let any of them hit you. Which right now is not my objective. Oh. Almost got her without the summoning phase. Yikes. Oh. Yeah, that was one I was hoping to avoid. And jumping heavy and follow up R1 misses. There we go. Okay, we didn't get the dragon or the giant, so... Don't understand the plot at all. Don't worry about it. Stand before the Elden Ring, become the Elden Lord. That's the only plot you need. Am I overleveled or just experienced? A combination of both. I think, honestly, I'm a little overleveled, but you get overleveled if you fight every boss in the game. I think I am at the point in the progression where I should be fighting this boss, but I haven't lost my runes at any point during this because I know what I'm doing. It is not currently my wish to be born anew, but thanks for asking. 48. I think we'll put 3 into strength. Why not? It's doing well for us right now. Yeah, we're currently level 51. We were 48 going into that fight. I think that's reasonable for this area. I'd probably have gained more runes on the way here, even if I would have done the usual thing and fought everything, but I probably would have died more as well. So, with Rennala done, I'm going to briefly tick her and Red Wolf of Radagon off the list. We can go do Carian Mana now. We are also probably okay to do this Erdtree Avatar, so I might get that taken care of quickly. Because Carian Mana gives us Royal Knight Loretta and Onyx Lord. We've got the Deathrite Bird, we've got Academy Crystal Cave, which has a Crystalian Duo. We've got the Bloodhound Knight in the cave with Liurnia at the outside. Still plenty to do, but we are halfway through the stream and looking pretty good right now. Not just because I've had a haircut. Quickly get the Mausoleum Compound Grace. How partner's family, are they in the area impacted by the fires? So some cousins are. Not necessarily impacted, but like they are in LA. Most of my partner's family is a lot further north in like the Bay Area instead of Los Angeles. But yeah, we've been in touch with the family who are closest, and they are fortunately far enough away to not be affected right now, but the air quality is going to be really bad and stuff, so just encouraging them to do what they can to stay safe, really. Definitely because you've had a haircut. Thanks, Boz. Just going to get some of this lot out of the way quickly first. They've all got axes too. Just a big mass of swingy guys at this point. Okay. We declare our challenge. And we go in for a chop-in. Oh, ow. Okay. Saw me coming, I guess. Oh man, the hitbox is being really bad to me now. Come on. That's genuinely unbelievable that I did basically 3 hits there and only one of them actually lands. There we go. 49th boss. 3 extra crystal tears. Nice. No other bosses in this area that I'm aware of. We'll probably do Lakeside Crystal Cave now. Yeah, that guy did chop back a little bit. Not the biggest fan of that. So finding Lakeside Crystal Cave was always difficult until I remembered that you just have to look for where the crystals are. I would always go past it because it's like right here. I was expecting more of an obvious entrance, but now the entrance is obvious because I know where it is. This one has the Spear Talisman, which we won't need to use. So we can skip all of the bothering of the demi-humans that I normally do here. And just roll down here to have a fight with some snails. Yeah, the snails are back. Get out. There's a bunch of them there as well, but they don't fight unless you antagonize them, so I'm not going to do that. Where do we drop down for this one? Ah, yes, there. Some of these drops genuinely don't look like you should be able to make it, but you can. Oh. Forgot they jump at you. Right, this is Bloodhound Knight. Round 2. No Blythe this time. Okay, we got him with 1 hit of that, but I need to be slightly better about choosing my openings. Got some pretty wicked follow-ups, actually. Yeah, this is one where having the slower combo on my heavy is not ideal. But having a couple of R1s is better. Oh, we're back in that way. 50. So now we can get the Grace here, and I think there's a Stone Sword key right there. But then we can also show Latenna the medallion, and she can accompany us to... Oh, it's a rune arc. Nice. She can accompany us to the lands beyond
Felt I told thee that I possess
the mountain tops.
Oh, so then I've no. Let's try. My apology. I hope that. Would you consider Misko? There is something. Will you show me if you accept of the word? Thank you. They say in castles. Then farewell. I will go with forgive me.
And then she becomes Spirit Ashes. Cool.
Call upon me when needed, and I will fight at your side.
With that done, we can tick off Bloodhound Knight and Erdtree Avatar Northeast. We still have to tangle with Deathbird and Knight's Cavalry North. I think we'll do Adan Thief of Fire now, because that's a nice easy one. I mean, I wouldn't count this guy out because he's got some pretty silly combo attacks, but it's also PvP, so it can go one of two ways. I mean, not strictly PvP, it's an invasion, but you know what I mean. Where is the Spirit Spring? Is it back this way and I just missed it? Yeah, we've got 50 bosses done. I've definitely not died 50 times, so there's that. I think I'm still in single-digit deaths. So that I can be happy about at least. There's the Spirit Spring. It just doesn't show up until you're closer. I have a feeling this guy is going to dodge roll through a lot of my Barbaric Raw Heavies, so we're not going to do Barbaric Raw Heavies. He's using the best incantation, Catch Flame. Right. 51. Be worried if it was 50-50? Yeah. Believe me, on my first playthrough, I must have died like 1,000+ times. So, at this point, I'll take it. Now then, what's next? Also, where is the Bell-Bearing Hunter fight on... Oh, it's at the Church of Vows, isn't it? Yeah. We'll do that later. We will need to go to the Church of Vows after all, I forgot. I forgot the Bell-Bearing Hunter comes for Turtle Pope for some reason. Let's meet E.G.
Well, I presume. Oh, I am an old soul here, perhaps. Oh, and if you come to, I am Toten. Raise territory when the rain after Levicarians. I conjure that is why I.
And now we can tell him that Blythe sent us.
Perhaps at any rate, I've something.
So we can buy this just in case we want it later. We don't really need any of these smithing stones because we've gathered a couple of each from the various mine shafts we've been to. We did, after all, yearn for the mines. What's the most difficult weapon so far? Definitely the Arbalest, which is a crossbow, and crossbows don't have any kind of stat-based scaling, so they do a flat amount of damage, and once you upgrade them, the only thing that can really change the amount of damage you do is what kind of bolts you're using. So the crossbow is really about, like, patience and trying to figure out the best way to use it as, like, a primary weapon when it's meant to be a support weapon. But outside of that, getting used to playing with the bows has been pretty difficult. And then the barbed staff spear ended up quite difficult, not only because we had to go and beat a quite difficult boss in the DLC to acquire it, but also because in the late game, a lot of enemies are, and a lot of bosses are resistant to the type of damage it deals. So that was quite difficult to make it work in the circumstances. But there aren't going to be too many weapons that are very difficult to deal with. I think maybe a couple of the upcoming bows. The soldier's crossbow is, I think, the worst crossbow in the game. So that one's going to be a bit annoying. And then, what's the other one that I'm concerned about? I don't know, there's a couple of them, but I'm not too worried about any of them, really. Didn't even consider bows, crossbows in the challenge. Oh, yeah. No, they're a thing. Thrusting shields are also considered weapons, because I'm going by the weapon comparison table that's on the Elden Ring wiki. But then, I think thrusting shields are actually pretty good, because you can guard and attack with them at the same time. I've seen some pretty broken builds with them. The playthrough I'm most looking forward to is the DLC Beast Claw, because that's really early in the DLC, so you don't have to travel much to acquire it, and it's going to be a very, very fun playstyle, because it's very fast attacks, close range, but the moveset is very maneuverable. And I already have an idea for the character that I built for it, so we'll be able to do some fun stuff with that, I think. Due to newborn child, I spent like a year finishing one playthrough. I mean, my first playthrough was 130 hours. I probably spent 3 or 4 months playing this game the first time. And I have no such responsibilities. The only responsibility I had at the time was to Minecraft. Out of respect to Latenna, we're going to avoid fighting any of the wolves. Beast Claws are so fun. Yeah, I'm expecting that one to be very fun. The Spiked Cestus was my weapon of choice before I started this to try and use some of the other weapons in the game. So I played through the Spiked Cestus like twice. Once doing an all bosses run, the second time doing all bosses including the DLC. And that's when I started another playthrough. I was going to pick the Spiked Cestus again, and I was like, wait, why am I doing this? Okay, a heavy and a light attack takes these guys out, so that's pretty good. I think we are pretty well leveled at this point, and honestly, Loretta is a boss where the Barbaric Roar should come in kind of handy, so let's go there. Because she's quite maneuverable, but a lot of the time she will stand still just to re-up Carian Phalanx, so we can get a couple of hits in there. And then follow up with a jumping heavy, and we're done. Saint the First, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome to the Pixels. What's up, Scry? Didn't have much responsibility. Finished playthrough in like 2-3 bouts with 3-4 months of pause between them. Yeah. Big time old Cestus fan. 3-shot Frida while others molding about how hard she was. Loved him since. I have only just started playing Dark Souls 2, and I'm running a double Cestus build on that right now, like, because I was reading up a little bit and I worked out how dual wielding works, so I'm having a fun time with them at the moment. None of the bosses have been particularly difficult, it's just getting there, because the thing about Dark Souls 1, this is something I was talking about with Sloy, who I've played through Elden Ring with a couple of times. The The thing about Dark Souls 1 is that I found it relatively easy because a lot of the enemies in Dark Souls 1, they reused their attack patterns and even sometimes their character designs for enemies in Elden Ring. So they were all behaving in ways I could predict more easily, whereas I have not really seen much of the attack patterning and any of that stuff from Dark Souls 2 repeated in Elden Ring, which is to say none of the enemies in Dark Souls 2 behave how I expect them to. And also your character starts off a little bit nerfed in terms of agility and how many iframes you get from a roll and stuff. So now that I've figured that part out, I'm starting to get the hang of it. But honestly, Dark Souls 2 feels more difficult to explore because I'm just not used to how any of the enemies behave. Isn't Tree Spirit like the first boss of Dark Souls? Yeah, Asylum Demon and the Erdtree avatars share the same moveset, basically. The only thing Erdtree avatar has that Asylum Demon doesn't is the AoE thing. Also, 52, because we just beat Loretta. And this is Onyx Lord, who will also probably stand still and take a couple of hits. There we go. So that's 53, I think. Let me just quickly check some of these off. Royal Knight Loretta, Onyx Lord. Yes, 53. Good. Alright, let's go meet the boss. I think this might be the point at which we leave Liurnia, unless we have any other straightforward fights to do here. The Knight's Cavalry is really the only one. We're not going to be fighting Adela here, because Adela just, like, flies away. So we'll fight her on Moonlight Altar later on. Instead, we'll receive instruction to go to Shifra River. And that, I think, will be doable. Just brazenly riding over Celavis's secret puppet room. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting more done with Dark Souls 2. It has yet to click with me properly, but I think we'll manage. One thing I did just get, I just reached an area that's really early on from the hub at the start of the game. But then
I believe it please a tarnish. I have no...
there was a chest there that gives you a ring, which basically prevents you from losing as much health as you would normally use, lose from dying. So like every time you die, it decreases your max health by like 5% until you use a human effigy or whatever to restore your humanity. So it actually punishes you for dying over and over again, which is wild, but that's Dark Souls. And the ring basically prevents that from happening as much.
But then perhaps it's true. Forgive the blunt. How would you like?
So yeah, you keep more HP when hollowed, which again, like I had no idea that was a thing because it wasn't a thing in Dark Souls, and I'd never played Demon Souls before, so yeah, pretty funny. But now I know about that, I know about adaptability, and I know about dual wielding. I think I'll be good. Oh, forgot to send the elevator back down. But yeah, I've beaten Last Giant and Dragon Rider so far, and both first time because they were not difficult. They feel way more like Dark Souls 1 bosses.
Oh, thou wouldst afford it. Very well. There's nothing. What's more, I am cute. I'll allow it. And good. Good. There is. I would have. I have called. Ah, heed not. I am sure.
Okay. So we will talk to the others. Actually, I think maybe we need to talk to Rani one more time.
So needs it hath been.
There we go. Just make sure that we don't get trapped in the Skype call like we sometimes do. Love Demon Souls, maxed out my dude a year ago, starting another playthrough. I think it's still, the remake is still only on PS5, right? It's like a Bloodborne thing. It's like platform exclusive. What's up, Cake Jakey? Welcome in. Doing alright. We are 53 bosses deep into our all base game bosses Elden Ring playthrough, which is the 21st playthrough of a challenge where I'm trying to beat the game with every weapon in alphabetical order.
Glad to have you. Well, I'm still in the Eternals. I'm planning to go. See if I can. See if I can. Don't keep me waiting.
So we'll talk to all of these miscreants and then go to Shifra River probably.
I don't know what since I asked. I come and pay should you. If it were up, but who? I come and pay should you.
Blah blah blah. Celavis. Okay, so now, from here, we'll go to Shifra River, I guess. Like I said, there's a Deathrite Bird and a Knight's Cavalry we could still fight in Liurnia. And then there's the Crystalian Duo who are in, or Crystalian, I don't know how to actually say it, that are in the Academy Crystal Cave, so we'll come back for those. Get right. I haven't been back to Shifra River for a while because the last few playthroughs have not really necessitated it. We went to get the Oracular Bubble spell a couple of times on the sorcery runs, but I think that might have been one of the last times we really went there. Time for an elevator ride. So down here we have Dragonkin Soldier and Ancestral Spirit. We have to fight the extra Ancestor Spirit at some point. And there's Nokran. Up there somewhere. Yeah, this is one of the prettier environments. I love watching people who are playing for the first time take that elevator ride. Because that's definitely one of those things that I would love to experience for the first time again, you know? See you later, Ginger. Sleep well. Have a good one. We don't need to worry too much about getting, like, any of the drops and stuff here either. Like, there's no particularly essential items here. I don't think you can really get that much in the way of smithing stones either. It's only if we wanted to worry about summons, really. My first experience. Why is this ride so long? It's like, oh yeah, there's an entire world underneath the map. I also like how the same people then do Ainsel River well, and they're like, oh no, is it going to be something like that? And then it's actually kind of disappointing because it's a tunnel full of ants. And they're like, oh, huh. So, first order of business, light all the beacons. And get the map, of course. Ideally avoid the crabs, too. But I'll take those over the lightning balls. Definitely all about abusing iframes in this area. Didn't know the scope of the world, so then it was like, oh, this game is way bigger than I thought. Yeah, I think that and the fact that the map keeps, like, expanding the more you explore are two of the greatest choices that they made in this game in terms of a world design standpoint. Because genuinely you start with Limgrave and you're like, oh, is this it? And then as you explore Limgrave you find Caelid or the Weeping Peninsula or Liurnia of the Lakes and you're like, oh, that really isn't it. That's like tip of the iceberg. And then you get to Lanedale and you think, oh, surely that's it. And then you do the other half of the map. It just keeps going. Discovering that Mogwin Palace existed was wild. You thought you'd found basically everything? Yeah, and the amount of people who... That's the other place where I'm very happy to have iframes for lighting this brazier. No. Oh, I was so worried that they were going to do enough damage to kill me there. Yeah, people think that when Blythe is standing over there, where we should probably go and talk to him just for the sake of the quest line being upheld, he's talking over there and he's talking about, oh, I can see Nokron above me. Everyone assumes, because that's the direction that your character is facing, he's talking about Mogwin Palace. And you're like, okay, so how do you get over there? And then it turns out that he's actually talking about the thing that he's looking at, which is up there. And Mogwin Palace is a completely different place. Yeah, no places in this game are simply a backdrop. Except the occasional shipwrecks that you can see off the coast that everyone's like, oh, can we go to that? Unfortunately not, but that's the only place that you can't go to. So there's a gold seed, a stone sword key, and a rune arc over here, all of which I think we will get because we'll need the stone sword keys to get into a couple of places that there are bosses we all want to fight. And while we can buy stone sword keys on several occasions, I don't actually know how many we will need in total or where all of them are, so probably best if we grab the ones that I know where they are for now. Same goes for Runarks, but their availability is dependent entirely on whether I need to stay alive. So we have a little treasure behind the waterfall back here. And with that done, we'll go back here, we'll talk to Blythe, and we'll do the Ancestor Spirit boss fight. But all the beacons are now lit, so we are good to go in that department. Gonna hide to try and lose the aggro of these guys, but they're pretty persistent, so guess we're not doing that. Hey, Blythe.
Apologies, mate. I can see Blood had all the... Perhaps it's not recall that. Let's give him a... Besides, leave this place to... If either of us look...
Okay. Actually, let's not warp, it's just over there. We can get some revenge. Or not. Or we could just run away. That's probably easier. We all agreed Runark's a counterintuitive gameplay, because why buff if you're going to die to this boss like 20 times? Yeah. When more survival guide uploads? If not end of this week, then hopefully early next week. Just trying to find the time right now. Because I've got a lot of other stuff going on. Would have done some recording first thing this morning, but I had to go and rescue my car because I had to leave it parked and walk home yesterday in the snow. So there's just like lots of little things that are making it harder to get stuff done on a regular basis right now. Alright, fine. Run away. This is the one we follow up after. Nice. Half done so far. Actually kind of reminds me of the dragon attacks where they like fly up into the air and then like land on you. Okay, for that one our heads collided and my head was harder. Yeah, it's funny, Scry. I've watched a few people's original Elden Ring playthroughs more recently, like Shenpai, for like playing through it for the first time, which was really fun. But I think I want to say like rumor, but misconception spread quite early that Runarks only happen for like a limited time because they were consumable. Like the effect of a Runark would just naturally wear off, and it's like, no, it wears off when you die. But then they're really there for people who, if you want to get the most out of them, you're going to find yourself using them for longer stretches just of exploration, whereas what people want the buff for is fighting bosses because it gives you more health or damage or whatever, and so it's an interesting trade-off. Like, they can help keep you alive for a lot longer exploring the open world, right? But yeah, there are definitely people who thought that Runarks were like a time-limited thing, like it only lasted for like a minute or something. Thought they wore off when the bars reduced off the screen. Nope. They only wear off when you die. So this is Dragonkin Soldier. Which should be pretty easy if we can just do this. This attack is the problem. Because if I get stuck in one place like that... then I can't see what he's doing. Yep, thought so. I tried to roll there, but I couldn't quite manage it. Yeah, you played with 18 to 20 Vigor. I did not fully understand weapon scaling on my first playthrough. I had the most absurd mix of armor. We got 4 rune arcs going spare. We'll use another one. Yeah, I had an absurd mix of armor. I was using Moon Veil, but I don't think my Dex stat was particularly high, even though it also scales with Dex. Nope. Yikes. That's the one we wanted to avoid. Now I need to get behind the legs again if I can. Oh god. Oh, okay. No, dude. Okay, the getting on torrent there was not the play. Yeah, there are genuinely playthroughs where you can just do one attack behind its legs the entire time, and it never varies the attack pattern, so you always just stomp, but not to worry. We can manage. I think for this one we'll just go with charged heavy so I can react better when something does happen. And also we get a stagger nice and easily, so... there we go. It's as simple as that, really. So that makes 55. Dragon Halberds. We're done in Shifra River for now. We can go back and talk to Celavis, but who wants to do that? So at this point, it's basically Academy Crystal Cave, Knights Cavalry in North Liurnia, Starscourge Radahn. We basically need to go start doing Caelid. We also need to go and talk to Roger a bunch, because in order to progress Fia's quest and get access to the Lich Dragon Fortisax fight, we need to make sure that Fia leaves the Round Table hold, which she only does after Roger dies and you give Dee the Weathered Dagger, so gotta make sure we get that done. Plus the wonderful view. I know, I know. The fights where you're just looking at the enemies, but are among the more challenging. Just going to quickly refer to my notes to make sure that we've got some of this stuff. Oh, yeah. The Stone Barb cracked here from East Caelid, from the Dragon Barrow Erdtree avatar. That's going to be something that's on the shopping list for later. Okay, here we go with Shotgun Sorcerers. The Twin Sages are the ones that do the shotgun spell, and they're really annoying sometimes. Thank you for the Stone Sword key, though. Reminds you too much of Lord of the Rings? How so? Because it has the word ring in the title? Or does this just have, like, parts of the dead energy? Want me to bring the hammer down? Let me get my rune arc in peace, thank you. Okay, Crystalian Duo. A lot of people do not like this fight for various reasons. But once you got one down, the other one falls pretty swiftly afterwards. There we go. We don't even need to do this. I'm like, oh, let's go up the elevator. Why? To get Terra Magica? Do not need it. Okay, so that's done. Those we will not do. Could do the Deathrite Bird, but they suck and I don't wanna. So we'll save the Knight's Cavalry for when we're actually going to go and get the Dectus Lift as well. I think we go and do Caelid. I think we actually make inroads into Caelid today. Fight was weirdly easy the first time I did it. I have no clue to this day why. They're a lot easier if you have a weapon that deals strike damage. So if you've got like a Morning Star or a Mace or anything like that, the weapon type is really important because those enemies and the Rock Miners and Stone Digger Trolls, they all have a lot of resistance to piercing, slashing, like standard damage types, but strike damage does a ton to them. Yeah, big hammer is what you need. So we've got the Putrid Avatar down here, which we might as well go and fight now. We'll maybe put some fire grease on the weapon to make it slightly easier to use. I mean, at this point we could use a fire infusion, but I don't know if I have any Ashes of War that will really do that. That's all my blood, by the way. Early game, infusing a weapon with magic or fire is godsend. It doubles your damage, yeah. Honestly, any kind of infusion is often way better than the standard scaling that you get from basic weapons, which is the lesson I learned from the Banished Knight's great swords, being a kind of a rough playthrough, while the Bastard Sword playthrough was really fun. Triple kill. Okay, let's do this one then. Oh, that's the weapon buff. Never mind. I forgot Barbaric Roar sucks against these guys. Never mind. Time for jump attacks. He said it's also time for jump attacks. Oh, ouch. Okay. Whoop. Get some heals in. Dodge the first swing. Okay, there we go. Finally got a 3-hit combo on one of these. No stagger. Unfortunate. Never mind. Oh no, I went off the cliff. I knew I was going to go off the cliff. I literally saw the cliff there and was like, better not go off this. And the problem with that is that I wasn't anywhere near the Stake of Marika, and I didn't get the Grace of the Church because I didn't want to get invaded, so now I'm all the way back here. And I even wasted my fire grease. Axes should have bonus damage against trees. So when I was explaining this to a few people, ZloyXP said, like, you don't need to do an all bosses run, but the axe weapons should at least be all Erdtree avatars and putrid tree spirits. But that was after, in our first, like, co-op playthrough together, the entire time he was like, we're going to chop down this tree. Like, this is the biggest tree ever, we are going to chop it down. And in the end we did. Come back here and be chopped. Bah. Why are there always like 3 of you all at once? Whatever happened to the good old traditional fight me one at a time? Alright, this time we don't do Barbaric Roar. I don't have the Fire Grease to use, but we're just going to do some charged heavies. Cool. Zero damage is how we like it. Screen Burst and Flame Shrouds. And back here we have Catacombs with 2 Erdtree Burial Watchdogs. 57. think another 2,000 runes is just about manageable for us. Obviously, we've got the 2 remembrances, so we could always use those. Nope. What binds do I use to call torrent so fast? It's on the pouch. So the pouch here is Y and then the down arrow. I've got to go through here. Pull the lever in this room. And then the boss room is under the elevator. Is that how that works? Yeah. Joke's on you, I had iframes. And then, of course, the message completely blocks me from taking any action. Huh. Did not expect that guy to Mario stomp me there, but he did. Another shout out to Dark Souls 1. An entire tunnel in depths that's like that. Okay, this time we're not going for Barbaric Roar again because I would much rather just hit these guys with the heavies. Because they're going to hit me with the heavies, so turnabout is fair play. Oh gosh. It's just a little chaotic in here. Nice. Oh, if I can get the stagger, that's good, but if not, I'll just do what damage I can. Oh, come on. He defended the other one. And then I didn't have lock on for that one. Clattered. Roll right, roll forwards. There we go. Could have been worse. 58. Yeah, that's not awful. I need to start checking off bosses in Caelid now. This is where my checklist becomes a little bit difficult. Did you see the did you see the Great Jar reset his position there? That was funny. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I need to be I need to be ready." So that was Putrid Avatar, West Caelid, and Erdtree Burial Watchdog, Minor Erdtree Catacombs. Wonderful. Now I should really go and get a Grace somewhere, shouldn't I? That would be nice. Get a Grace in Caelid, why don't you? I also have like 1 health flask left, so just gonna run past all of these lads. Despite the looks being repetitive, finding these hidden quirks was always fun, like going under the elevator. Yeah, the one in... I think there might even be 2 in Lanedale or Mountaintops where you're like... There's one in Lanedale where you're going around the same setup multiple times, and there's like... It's like a spot the difference kind of thing each time. And then the one in Mountaintops, I think, is the one where you just go through a bunch of teleporting chests, and you have to remember where you've been from that. And, yeah, those are delightful, let me tell you. So our battle axe is plus 13 right now. We're looking for smithing stone 5s to get us any further. Does Gale Tunnel have any 5s, or is that just Celia Crystal Tunnel now? Because we need to do Gale Tunnel anyway for Magma Wyrm and to continue Alexander's quests. I mean, we don't need it to continue Alexander's quest because he goes to Redmane Castle anyway, but we, you know, we probably should. Excel, Google Docs, awesome note-taking up action. This is a checklist that's been put together by somebody and posted on GitHub. And it's just like a really helpful checklist of everything in the game. I think I posted a link to it in chat earlier. But it's there. There you go. Yeah, we're getting Somber 2s from this. But this is an area you can come to fairly early even if you don't fight the boss, so... kind of makes sense. We'll ignore most of the other stuff in here because we don't need the smithing stones. And we can always buy them later if we need to upgrade other weapons, or... I think at some point we'll probably end up using a Sacred Seal to cast buff incantations. Open this for Alexander and the Grace.
Oh, your steam. This was supposed... What's going on? Well...
Yeah, these are smithing stone 4s. We're kind of past this now.
This was supposed... What's going on? Well, gosh. Into the festival. Doesn't the...
Ha ha ha! Alright, Magma Wyrm fights. This one should be a barbaric raw main, no question. Big enemy, lots of space to hit him. Probably going to start by putting lava all over the arena. Yeah. This is the annoying part of this fight where, like, literally everything he does causes you damage. Which is really how bosses should work in general, but you know. Good fight. Almost had me there in the first half. Oh, Moonveil, my beloved. We're going to have such fun when it comes to Moonveil on these playthroughs. An enemy who does things to cause you damage. You know what I mean, though? His, like, entire hitbox becomes a damage hitbox. Which is, yeah, a little annoying. So next up, here in Caelid, we have, oh, I tell you what we could go and do. For one thing, actually, because we've now got the second Great Rune, because we beat Rennala, we should go to the Round Table Hold and get the second Talisman Pouch, or the third Talisman Pouch. Third Talisman Slot, second Talisman Pouch.
To become the thing as now.
Because now we can also equip any of the things that we have gotten here, including Twin Blade, which is good for our current setup. Or Winged Sword Insignia, which is also probably good for our current setup. Green Turtle Talisman, very nice. I think we'll go with this for now, but the main reason I say this is because we can now go do Cleanrot Knight Duo and get the Gold Scarab Talisman. Since you're doing base game bosses, you're going to skip the DLC this time. I'm not going to do any boss fights in the DLC. I might go get the two-handed sword talisman, since I'm two-handing this weapon for most of the game. It will really increase the damage output we have. But, yeah, like, we'll be beating Moog, so we'll have access to the DLC. I just don't really want to do any unnecessary boss fights from the DLC. And I don't think there will be too many other talismans or other things we could get that would be worth it. Because, I mean, if we wanted to, we could go and get some of the sorceries that are in the DLC, or some of the incantations. We could go and get Rings of Spectral Light and absolutely shred stuff later in the game. I was looking through armor choices for this character the other day, and I realized that I'd never noticed before that the Gravebird armor helmet increases the damage that Rings of Spectral Light does, which is absurd because that weapon, that sorcery absolutely destroys most enemies in the game. Most enemies in the DLC even. But, like, I don't want it to feel like the sorcery is the thing that we beat the game with. You know, I want the axe to be the thing we beat the game with, so. So we're going to go and get Flame Grant Me Strength at some point here as well. Well, that wasn't good. Because now we're Scarlet Rotted. So let's see how far we can get. I doubt we'll make it to the end of this. And normally at this point I have better health flasks because we've been all over Altus Plateau. So I'm not going to be able to heal quite as much as I normally could whilst doing this. Death March, Death Charge, whatever this is, through here. I don't think I even have any healing items that will get rid of the Scarlet Rot, so let's just go in here and see if we can take out these guys. Ideally, we want to make sure the one with the sickle doesn't end up casting too many gold rings, so... There we go. That's all we needed to do. I swear it takes the mages to die just so if you still have Scarlet Rot, it still ticks you down. And it resets your Scarlet Rot to max at the end there. It's wild. Anyway. We now have the Gold Scarab Talisman, which means we can get more runes out of basically anything we fight at this stage. I also need to do some quick maths, because I think I might have missed Magma Wyrm off the list there when I was counting bosses. Cleanrot Knight. Who else have we done? That's been it so far. Yeah, we did a tree avatar. Oh yeah, we did 2 in Shifra River that I haven't clicked here, so 2 more of those. Yeah, so there should be 60 now. So we're going to equip the Gold Scarab Talisman so we can get a few more runes from these occasional enemies. We're going to go back to Calum Runes, and we can do Mad Pumpkinhead Duo. Haven't played the DLC yet, will there be spoilers? Only if we end up discussing stuff verbally. But I will try and keep that to a minimum. Because, yeah, we're not going to be fighting any of the DLC bosses. I might go there for a talisman or 2, but we're not going to do extensive DLC play on this run, so no real need to mention it. Oh, I guess there are fire attacks happening up there somewhere. Let's not worry about that, eh? Okay, this one's dead already. Nice. Easy crit. Always new games getting in the way you're still working through Black Myth Wukong. Nice. Well, hope you enjoy that. I have personally decided I'm not going to worry about Black Myth Wukong. I have instead decided to play this game 400 times. So, it's the big pumpkin Charlie Brown. It is. With the big staff that he decided to put there for some reason. We're done with that. That's 61. And let's tick that off the list as well. Mad Pumpkinhead Duo. There we go. Oh, we have to fight Godskin Apostle at some point. I just realized. There's so many fights that I'm like, oh, I remember that one. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Just going to ignore that guy. Let's keep going down this way. Let's at least get the map. And the graces that will lead down this way. There is no boss in Fort Gale, but we'll go there for the incantation. And that's the point at which I should start thinking about leveling faith so we can use it. Because I'm pretty sure the hero characters start with pretty minimal faith investment, yeah? And we have 13 right now, but that's only because of the Great Rune. So that means that as a standard we have like 8. But if we go to Fort Gale and grab that now, we can also get the Starscourge heirloom from there. Not that we need it especially, considering we're putting tons of points into strength as it is. But yeah, Flame Grant Me Strength is the whole reason we're going here. And then we won't be able to get Golden Vow until later unless you use the Ash of War version, which a lot of people like to do, but I'm like, If I'm going to be casting buffs, I might as well cast the legit buffs. The Ash of War version doesn't last for as long anyway, so... hate spoilers for movies, but not for games because it gets me interested in the game. That's cool. Like, as long as you can have that as a perspective, I think that's great. The entire, like... What am I doing? I don't need to go this way. The entire Souls community, I think, gets very invested in the first-time experience of these games being as unspoiled as possible, but mostly because the game is full of these really interesting surprises. So I think a lot of people prefer to not have spoilers for these games for that reason. It's because there are so many unique bosses, interesting mechanics, all of that stuff. How come you'll not bother with Black Myth? Just because I don't have enough time, really. Like, I hear good things about it. It was nominated for Game of the Year, all that stuff. But, yeah, like, I've committed myself to doing silly things with Elden Ring because I love this game. And most of the time I'm just playing Minecraft, which is the majority of my gaming time because that's my main gig, you know? So we're going to come back to Round Table Hold. We're going to grab the Two Fingers seal. We can get Ench's whole armor set here as well. But yeah, I don't have any kind of principle about, like, you know, I'm not going to play this because of, you know, it being a rip-off of whatever. Like, I don't care about that stuff. Like, so we need to talk to Roger while we're here. Let's grab this. We need 15 faith for that. Okay, so we need to put 2 points into faith. Let's just smash these remembrances, because we won't be using either of the rewards from these, so we can just use them up. We'll put a couple of points into faith, which along with the Great Rune we have will allow us to use Flame Grant Me Strength. So we have that now.
Always so. Lately, of full and so I just want since you're.
Okay, so now
Go. Killing those is a path.
we haven't really spoken to D at all. Roger should be asleep. We'll quickly talk to Fia just in case she has something else to say, because I think there's one more bit of dialogue before the.
Now.
I mean, yeah, we can get the Beast Claw Talisman from Garank. We've already got access to Garank, but I've just been trying not to go to Caelid prematurely.
I heard he must be at Anchor's. You true to dear. Then good day.
So we get a free sacrificial twig. But yeah, the Beast Claw Talisman, or not Talisman, seal, the Claw Mark seal, gives you a seal that scales with strength, but that only scales the incantations that deal damage, and we're just going to be using it for buffs. We're not going to be relying on incantations to deal damage at all. Let's get rid of this while we check that Roger is now dozing. Yep. So, Mr. Sozar, welcome in. Haven't watched my videos in a while. Well, it's a good time to start, because we're going to be doing more Minecraft Survival Guide stuff for the new year. Okay, we probably need to rest like a couple more times. Or maybe leave and come back. I forget how this works. Oh, there we go. Roger's letter, which says D has a younger brother, something about the Prince of Death.
Would you like now?
And I think at this point she says something about the Weathered Dagger. If not, we can leave and come back. This is all just so we get access to Lich Dragon Fortisax later.
You are. Then good day.
Okay, cool. We'll keep the Balderkin's Blessing because I think we just have to leave and come back. How am I not at 1 million subs? Mostly because I've not been pushing too hard for it. And, I don't know, there was a bit of a lull in activity for Minecraft for a while. Like, there haven't been any big pushes for people to get back into Minecraft. There's no big servers like Dream SMP out there right now. And the updates lately have been great for the game, but they're not necessarily for everybody's like level of interest.
The blessing would you like now?
So like my tutorial content feels like it's just gotten repetitive for people who already know how to play the game. But yeah, frankly, I've not been that worried about subscriber numbers and stuff.
Then good day.
Why is she not telling us anything yet? Do we need to talk to Dee about Roger at this stage? I don't know. Maybe we need to leave Roundtable Hold and come back. I don't know. Yeah, I know Fia needs to kill Dee, but she needs to give me the Weathered Dagger so I can give it to him, and then he gets killed after that. Like, that's usually the way it works.
Would you like the blessing? Would you like now?
Try one more time. Otherwise, we'll just carry on with bosses and come back later. Because I forget what the triggers are for this, other than just go away, come back, go away, come back.
You are then good day.
Weird. We'll use this, and then we'll warp out. So, back to K-Lids. We've got... Oh, we've got a lot of stuff we can do here right now. The one that I'm going to put off for absolutely ages here is Bellbearing Hunter, because it's the hardest Bellbearing Hunter fight. We've got the jail down here, we could go do. The jail cave. And this is another Stone Sword key entry, so we don't have enough. Do we not have any? We have like one and we need two. Well, saving this for later then. There's the Rot Dragon that we really don't want to fight right now. Maybe we will go and see Garank. And then at this point we can do Greol. But then Greol is going to be a bunch of dragons in Dragon Barrow, and we said we'd do that one legit. So maybe we'll just go and see Garank and feed him all the death root he wants. And then see if that affects Fia's quest at all. Statue lady is pretty. That's Marika. She is basically God. Right now, at least. Four death root for you.
The death ring.
Cool. This is the point at which I think Garank attacks you. Yeah. Love this. If think I'd be good at this fight now, but... He hits so hard. It's like endgame Garank. It's so weird. You good there, bud? Okay, bye. He's back. Well, we survived. Do I have a Discord server? No, I don't. Wait, why? Because it would be too much of a hassle to moderate for the amount of popularity I have had. I had a patrons-only Discord server for a while, and that got too much to manage, and I don't like to ask people to moderate something that's round the clock, basically for free, whereas streams at least are something that I only do a few times a week on a schedule. Moderating large communities just gets, like, out of hand pretty quick, so... Basically didn't want to create a space where people could just come in and cause drama and have to deal with the drama. And if people want to chat with me, they can do it in Twitch chat, they can do it on my YouTube comments. If all you're after is notifications of content, then follow me on Blue Sky, follow me on YouTube. Even servers with 200 active people are hard to manage. Yeah, the only Discord I'm a part of is the one for my podcast. And that's a thing that's managed through Patreon. We're going to grab this Grace for now. We're not actually going to fight the Knight's Cavalry here because we normally cheese this guy and I do want to do it legit. But we at least have access to this area now. You hate big communities? Yeah, honestly, like, doing these Elden Ring streams has been fun because I can talk to basically everybody in chat who has reasonable stuff to say. Like, there are obviously some people who are just, like, they're doing a bit and they want attention, but, like, there's going to be some people who are just interested in engaging and chatting. What's up, Specs Rays? Welcome in. 61 bosses already? Yeah, we're doing pretty well. Basically never chat at popular streamers. Chat, yeah, I mean, if you're there to have an interaction with the streamer, then smaller chats are where it's at, really. But I also like going into streams where people aren't chatting much and just, like, responding to what the streamer says and, like, chipping in here and there. I think that's way more fun because a lot of the time if somebody is streaming and there aren't a ton of people chatting, then you sort of psych yourself out about it. Especially if you're like me, and like I've done this for a while, and I'm pretty comfortable just talking about what we're doing in the game now, but I get worried about dead air, I get worried about like periods of quiet, and that's one of the reasons why playing Minecraft or playing Elden Ring has worked for me, because they're both games I know pretty well, and everything can be fairly automatic, so I don't have to think too hard about what I'm doing, and go quiet and not chat. But having an active chat does help, and so if you're watching somebody who's streaming to a smaller crowd and people aren't talking constantly, there are some people who go into those chats and they're like, hey, why is chat dead? I'm like, because you're not saying anything that's worth, like, talking about. Like, say something that feels like you're starting a discussion, and it's much more interesting. Now, which way do we go from here? Oh yeah, that's not a ladder, that's something else. 130 people watch this stream, like 10, 20 people using chat. Yeah, totally. And people lurk, that's fine. Sometimes people just want to have a stream on in the background. I do that all the time. I'm not actively chatting because I'm, like, preparing dinner, washing dishes. Like, I've just got it on whilst I'm working on stuff in Minecraft. Sometimes I'm just vegging out on the couch. Which boss is coming up right now? I think this one is maybe a duelist or something? I forget exactly. This is the weird one where you have to get in here and open the door with the levers, and that lets every screaming skeleton out of this place. Absolutely not. But yeah, this is a fun place. This is where you get, like, the wakizashi and a few, like, other fun weapons to mess with. But you got to come up here. These rats walk past. You run up this slope. You trigger all of the poison traps because it's the militia, so of course you trigger poison traps. They're all about bleed and poison, these guys. Oh, we got a fun hat. It's like an inverse Rennala. This is actually way better than the hero's garb. So maybe we should be wearing this. What's up, Prophy Sloth? Welcome in. Do I like to read books? Sometimes, yeah. I haven't read a book in full for a while. The last thing I think I read fully was when we were rereading basically the entirety of Lord of the Rings over the pandemic. And I like to read aloud a lot of the time. Like, me and my partner read books, like, in bed. So, that was one of the things we did, was we reread the entirety of Lord of the Rings. Right now we're doing that with Interview with the Vampire, because we really like the AMC TV series. So, we're reading through the first book in that series. Yeah, Frenzied Duelist, this guy. Let's do this. Because this is a body buff, right? Absurd moveset, this guy. The axe kick, though. And that grab is so long for doing relatively little damage. And here we are back in Limgrave with Regalia of Eocade, which is the Ula seal of this game. You're like, where is it? We don't really know. So that's that guy done. Frenzied Duelist from Jail Cave. We've got all the stuff in Celia to do here. I don't necessarily want to get into all of that yet. Elden Ring is an extremely difficult game with no story. How are you motivated to play these Souls-like or not story-heavy games? I honestly just really like the action of this game, and this is a very story-heavy game. It's just the story is not told in the traditional way. I think this story feels like one the player is writing themselves as they play the game, as opposed to a set of pre-scripted actions that are laid out for you by the game's developers, like which enemies you defeat, how you choose to fight, and like ultimately the ending. There are like a few endings, but I think honestly it gives you more freedom because you can complete the game in a variety of different configurations, I guess. Oh, Knight's Cavalry. Let's fight this guy. I really wish you could teach Torrent to do that, like, shove that they do. Absolutely not. No getting back on your horse. 62. Oh, 63. There we go. Almost at a full stack of bosses. Yeah. We got the map for Caelid. Can talk to this merchant. We could get some fun armor here. This is like the other stuff that comes with the hero's armor. Could also buy a stone sword key, considering we just used 2 of them. Keeps us a medium load. Boggart's mask is actually better. Praise the sun. Question is, do we still have... We have 1 gold seed. Okay, cool. Because there's another one of those down here. There's also a Catacombs down here that we could get to. Oh, hang on though. Hold up a minute. We can get something else over here that may end up changing what we're gonna do with this character later. Get the armor, it's free real estate. It's true. Yeah. Crag blades. Excuse me, sir. This scarab here is a trap. Don't fall for it unless you're me. Actually, it wasn't that bad. The main thing I'm concerned about is it bringing me too close to this bird. Caelid Catacombs. Not sure what's down here. Maybe another cemetery shade. I forget. There's not many catacombs in Caelid. 3,000? 400. Yes, a reason to eat your veggies, yeah. Honestly, putting more points into strength still makes sense because of how much extra physical resistance we get from it. So what are we dealing with here? Rots. Oh, wonderful. And skeletons. Well, one of those things I'm fine with. And it's actually the skeletons. Wait, where's the lever? Back this way? Okay, we're Scarlet Rotted now anyway. Let's go and look around. Where the dickens is the lever? This isn't one of those ones with an elevator in it. Like, the Grace is literally right here. Where was that? Oh, yeah, fake wall, I remember. Yeah, I was wondering if it was something like that. I've done this one so infrequently. Because, yeah, there's this. Where there's candles on each of the sides, and then you do this. And it's here. Somewhere, a heavy door has opened. Could it be here? Let's not get hit by that again, shall we? Alright, good enough. Not my favourite fight we've done, but good enough. A full stack of bosses. Is that Krampus? Yes. Where could it be? So Caelid is an odd one where, like, the main boss of the area is actually kind of halfway through the area, and then there's a bunch of other optional stuff to do. And that's Dragon Barrow. So we've done Cemetery Shades. And we've done Caelid Highway South, Knight's Cavalry. Putrid Tree Spirit is in the Catacombs up here. Yeah, it's really just Radahn at this point. I think we might actually have to go and fight Radahn now. That's the thing, I don't want to do Celia right now, because it doesn't really feel like this is the right moment to do it in the progression of things. How many bosses are there in total? 165 in the base game, I think? Something like that. Yeah, there's the Deathrite birds near there. Oh, and there's the other boss of Redmane. That's the other thing, is we don't have Radahn yet, because we haven't done the full quest for Rani, and we haven't been to Altus yet. So maybe we should go and talk to Celavis. Yeah, about 100 more to go, yeah. There are a couple of them that will take all stream to do. Like, I'm genuinely not sure how I'm going to do against Malenia. But then again, we haven't got to this point where this weapon is fully upgraded yet, so while we're doing a decent amount of damage with it right now, max damage capacity is still a long way off, right?
Did you not read? Perhaps. I'd like you to... Even you. Now I shall... I expect... I'm the only thing Are we and I have enough. Well, the task was not to only... Well, now's as good as... There's a glint. She owes... I ask. I'll write you a letter.
Okay, cool. We go and see Selen. And because we never do it normally, I think maybe we'll go back and report to Blythe. This is actually going to be our introduction to Selen, believe it or not.
Tarnished. I am sorry you here. Ah, I dare say you're... Oh well, but one must... I was as a reviled. Upon you still with... Very well, but I refuse to anticipate... Well, Celevis isn't... But fine. The stars. But long ago. Now he is... If... And so too.
Bye. It's actually kind of funny that even though that's your introduction to her, you can't say, like, what is your business here? And then she asks you what your business is here, and you can't then go, well, this one guy called Celevis said I should come and find you. You have to be like, I want to learn sorcery, and then be like, oh yeah, Celevis said hi. I hate these guys.
Besides, leave this place to... If either of us... What news? So Rani's fate. That reminds me. There's a festival. It's a festival of... Maybe it's just... I'll be on my way.
There's a festival? There's a festival. I think we should go to the festival. Those guys are backtracking now. Literally, let me out of this bush, please. Like, they're still aggroed on me, they're just all the way over there. Go away. Thank you, gosh. If either of us learns something... Oh, wait, you already know? Yeah. And now the festival is on. And because I don't want to explore a ton of Redmane, we're going to do this now and then just walk back to this Grace afterwards for the follow-up fight against Leonine Misbegotten and the Crucible Knight. Ah, here we are.
Champions, welcome.
Hi, Jaren.
The stars have aligned. The festival is nigh. The festival.
So, Radahn.
Before we begin, allow me to paint you the full picture.
This is looking kind of similar to the amount of bosses I've killed as the amount of, like, warriors who are just dead here. That's a Cleanrot Knight we took care of earlier. Yeah, no one told me about this festival except every time I spoke to Alexander.
Eaten from the inside by Malenia's scarlet rot, his wits are long gone. Now he gathers the corpses of former friends and foes alike, gorging on them like a dog. howling at the sky.
Lovely.
But now, we must make merry.
Oh, gathering the
Heartening cry. And I believe a smithing stone 6. 6. It's a number we have not encountered yet. Be like, hey, you want to upgrade this? Tough. 1 smithing stone 6 is not even enough to upgrade you 1 level. Even if you're already at plus 15. Alright, let's fight Radahn. But this time, just for fun, let's do it a little differently. Okay, I destroyed the barrier. My bad. Oh, we got hit, but we traded, so that's fine. Alright, cool. It's been a while since I fought Radahn without summons, so I thought we'd just do it this way this time. Ow. Didn't hit quite as hard as I expected it to, somehow. Okay, this is the one where we get back on the horse, because then that's easier to dodge this. And then the wave. Psycho Crusher. Nice, good fight. Been a while since I've done that without the boys. Of course, once you've leveled up, because you've fought every boss up to this point, it's relatively straightforward. Radahn has a rhythm to him that's unlike a lot of the other bosses, so it can really catch you off guard when he delays his attacks so much, and then has, like, very specific combo timing. But I'll take it for a first try. The way to Nokron is open, and we are 65 bosses in. 100 to go. I think on that note, we're probably going to wrap up there. We'll talk to Alexander and Blythe just so we don't forget to do that later.
Aye. One hit after that, and as such, as luck. If I and you know, who could expect? Just you wait.
Just in case we need Shard of Alexander later on.
Ah, what the glory of and falling. I can't father. He was a living. The path is now to Nokra. Let's meet where we'll take up our soul.
All right. We are all good. And that's still getting us points. So we're still putting swords into... we were still putting points into strength. We are also, by the way, level 64 with 65 bosses defeated. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. 1 level per boss. Actually, you start at a higher level than 1, so that's kind of a misnomer. Anyway, we are going to wrap things up there, I think. We've made really good progress. We've beaten 2 Shard Bearers today. We've basically cleared most of the doable stuff from Liurnia, except for maybe a Bell-Bearing Hunter and the Knight's Cavalry, who's right there. We are going to be back on Sunday for more of this. So thank you so much for joining me for tonight's stream. I will probably... yeah, I'll probably be back on Sunday. I don't think we've really got much time to do stuff over the weekend. I'm going to drop you off with somebody else who's streaming some Elden Ring, provided that she is still live. Yes, awesome. We're going to go raid Contasevis because she's currently... I think she might have just finished the Death Route quest. Yeah, heck yeah. All right, she's just fed Garank the last Death Route. So let's go raid cons. We can use Pixel IPM. It's in the hashtag PixelRaid to show some love. If you want to watch something completely different, by the way, my partner is streaming in the other room with fountain pens and cool stationery, writing out Lord of the Rings by hand, all that good stuff. That's at twitch.tv/celeryman. But from this raid, we're going to go see Cons, who I think is done with Farum Azula now and is probably just on the march to the final boss of the game. So go and wish her luck, and I'll see you guys again soon. Take care. Have a good one. Bye for now.